Morning all. Afternoon even. One or the other. How are we all doing? Sorry, just reading an email. I'm going on a car day on Saturday with my kids. So basically we go on track days. So they're doing a track day where they're driving a load of cars around a track. And they've just emailed and said they've cancelled 2 of the cars off. And they're the only 2 cars that one of my kids wanted to drive. They've cancelled them. So that's going to be a fun one when we get home from school today. Anyway, how are we all doing? Morning, Neo. Afternoon, even. Andres, JC, Ian, Burke, Peter, Amy, Michael, Virginia, Fletch, Derp, Baggy, Brian. How we doing? Let's have a look at Brian's Euro US dollar strategy before we start. That's hard today, isn't it? Well, look at the size of that range on that first 4 hours. How the hell did you trade that? Probably not. Anywho. Right, so banked 1.7% so far today. I've just got out of CAD Swiss far too early. I know I'm out too early. That's fine. I don't care. I wanted to bank this CAD Swiss because I had an aggressive drawdown control position on it to get me out. And I've got the US dollar Swiss on as well. So with this US dollar Swiss long and this CAD Swiss long, it's kind of over leveraged because the CAD and the US move together and the Swiss franc obviously moves on its own. So this was kind of double exposure. So I just wanted to get one off the table. So I've banked that. And I've got the US dollar Swiss running. The US dollar Swiss has got an aggressive drawdown control position running on it. And I have a trailing drawdown, trailing stop loss running on the aggressive drawdown control position. So I just wanted to protect that because it's hit ADR. And what I don't want is it coming back down and coming back into this range. So if it's going to do that, I want to bank the aggressive drawdown control position. And I will probably reduce a little bit of risk on this US Swiss. I do think we are coming back up into propulsion. It needs a profit take. This Swiss franc is shot. But if you look at where this US dollar Swiss has run up to on the news, you can see it's the top of this range, which we've been in for 5 days. It's not worth the risk to sit here for another couple of days and then a break. So I'm going to get out of the aggressive drawdown control if it doesn't rally this afternoon. And I would do a little bit of DD control using that profit, which is going to be about $500, something like that. So I will just reduce a bit of this down. I'll take some of this off, probably half of that off. Maybe I'll take half of that and half of that or something. I don't know. I'll have a look at it. But we'll see. Hasn't stopped out yet. So I closed that out. I've put in the Telegram group everything I've closed. I closed CAD Swiss. Closed Euro New Zealand. Nice, easy one, that. In, out. New Zealand dollar yen. 1 in, 1 out. Straight in, RSI extension, M5 mean reversion, out. And Aussie Swiss, out on that. In, out. Out too soon. Always out too soon. I don't care. It's banking money. I don't care. I just don't care. Right, that's all done. So we've got 4 minutes to the open. News this morning. Where are we? Euro area dodged a winter recession. Output stagnated in Q1. IBM's report earnings beat but misses on revenue. We've had Johnson this morning. Hikes. American Airlines, strong second quarter. Jobless claims came out, which made the spike. Fed swaps price in higher odds of another rate hike after July. So nothing new basically. So excuse me while I hit my espresso. So basically, these are all the earnings we had last night after market. This is everything we've had pre-market today. So as you can see, there's a lot of stocks before the open today. I'm just going to quickly whiz through if we've got time and have a look at them all. So Tesla's 291. That's Netflix. Didn't go anywhere. Didn't go anywhere. Didn't go anywhere. This is all closed yesterday, so. Okay. So likely to get a volatile open today because we've got a lot of stocks. The market's moving actually. Pre-market's actually going pretty quick as well. So you can see the Dow's popping up at the open. So we might get a big volatile explosive move which continues. We might get a big volatile explosive move which completely reverses and flips the other way. We might get a whipsaw. Yesterday we had a lot of volume coming through, so just be careful with these pre-markets. That's not going to be it. That's going to be the pre-market 15 today. It is fairly wide at the moment, and there's a lot goes through. I think at the moment you're probably better off, unless it's a really nice tight range, waiting for those 5-minute opening ranges to go in and then take those breaks, because if it is going to rally on the stock prices, it will rally. We'll get a nice big push, but wait for that 5-minute volatility. It might be that the 5-minute volatility does a third of today's movement. We've seen that as well. So you just don't know, but it might be a bit whippy. So we'll see where we go. DAX this morning, absolute beauty. Literally just broke to the upside, didn't stop. TP, done. We went into an accumulation, so that was beautiful this morning. Made 3.7% on that this morning. These are big ranges. We'll have a look at where we're potentially going today in a minute. We'll just wait for the open. We've got 30 seconds. So as you can see, market dropped on the US dollar rally. Obviously, stock markets tend to do the opposite to the US dollar. US dollar's just had news. Unemployment was good. I haven't looked at the news, have we? Unemployment was good. I did do the news, but I didn't do this news. Unemployment rate was 3.5. No, sorry, that's the Aussie. Why have you not updated? Unemployment claims were 228 on a forecast of 239, so that's bullish. US, which means we could get a nice, Jesus, wow. There goes that moved massively before the open. So yeah, so we might get a decent unemployment rate figure next week for the US dollar as well, which would be great. So yeah, I'm not taking that pre-market on the Dow. That's huge. It's big on the S&P. NASDAQ is reasonable on the 10-minute. So 10 or 15, it's not too bad a range on that. So trying along on the NAS, but I'd wait for the 5-minute opening ranges. That's your best bet today. See where we are in relation to the Globex. We're at the Globex highs there already on the Dow. Just going for a run. Might get some big days again, but we'll wait and see. Wait for these opens to go in. So looking at the Dow today, where we're likely to go. Obviously, we're in a rally at the moment. The stock market's rallying off the back of the earnings, and we've basically generally just got a bull market in play at the moment. So yesterday's high is the obvious target to the upside. We've still got this massive propulsion gap. So we had this 5-day kind of bullish accumulation. Then we rallied out of it. So we've got this propulsion gap to come back and retest at some point. This may well just get orphaned and we might fly. So the Dow is certainly rallying at the minute. So we'll watch what happens when we get up to yesterday's high, which isn't too far away. We're only like 55 points away from it. 348 ADR. So not far. It's less than a quarter of an ADR up to yesterday's high. So we'll see if we can get a rally up to there at the open, and then we can obviously watch price action at the highs there and see where we go. NASDAQ's out the top. Do I hit the buy button today? Okay, so watch the Globex high on the NASDAQ. See if we get pop. Pretty good. I've got 2.5 minutes left. So that's your opening range on the NASDAQ. That's big. They're all big. But we're getting big moves at the moment. So big opening range means potentially we might get a big opening day. So, or big day, basically, big move. Morning, afternoon, Soren, Kenley, EMAC. Held overnight from yesterday's range. Ooh, Brian. Holding overnight is cheating. It's not an opening range. It's not a breakout strategy if you hold it overnight. Yeah. Watch that though. Okay, US dollar Swiss stopped out in profit on the aggressive drawdown control position. So I'm just going to close some of this out with this profit. Just reduce this down a little bit. Whenever you, just a common sense thing, but whenever you're doing drawdown control, you only do drawdown control on positions above the average. Yeah. If you do drawdown control here, the average will move away from you. I know this is a stupid question. I did get asked, well, it's not a stupid question, but I did get asked this. Should I do drawdown control on these positions? No, because these are helping you bring the average down. Everything above your average, if you drop that, this will drop down. If you drop this, this will drop up, shoot up rather. So just for clarity's sake. So I can close half of that off-ish, which would be about $200. Like that. I'm going to close half of that by there we go. You see that's bought me a quarter of an ADR. Still sitting on 1.75 for the day. Just reduced it down. So if it does come back down again, this reduces the pain, reduces the pressure. Okay, right. Range is too big on the S&P and the Dow. You want to take it though. Obviously, it's looking long at the minute, but we will see where we go. I hate buying into a massive rally like that, especially when the NASDAQ's coming off the Globex high. Look, Dow's tapped into that. That is also yesterday's high on the S&P, which we've rejected this morning. So that's a double rejection of yesterday's high on the S&P. It's going to take quite a bit to bash through that. Tempted, really tempted. It's tricky. Buying into resistance, never a good idea. But if resistance doesn't hold, very good idea. There is nothing above this. I'm going for it. Screw it. Long one. There's nothing above this resistance-wise. So when we're out the highs here, it's either going however far it's got momentum to go today based on the stop purchases, or it's not. So this is yesterday's high. We're just approaching now. So I'm going to try one long. I've made 175 bucks this morning, so I've got a little bit of leeway. I mean, that stop for me is going to be somewhere in the region of $300. So, but I've got half of that already covered this morning, so it's not actually going to be that. It's going to be more like $500. But if it does break out of that, we've got a very big drop, look, all the way down to there. It's 150 ADR back into this area if it's going to reject and double top and pull back. So Feels like a big move today. We will see. Morning, Gordy. Afternoon, even, whichever. John, Jerry. Pound Swiss was going so nicely until it just fell through its own hole. Oh, wrong one. I was on the right one. Now I'm on the wrong one. Pound Swiss. Depends if you're long or short. I'm long. It's going quite nicely at the moment. Happy with that. We've just broken that high. There's your W. Or multi-day W, depending how you look at it. If we can break that high today, we're off into propulsion, which gets me back into profit. Come on, Dow. Let's see if we can crack that high. If we crack that high, I reckon we're off today. Proper off as well, like a rocket. We'll see. No one, none care. Thanks again for teaching. That's okay. Buy me an apple. Got to break the rules once in a while, Brian. Yes. At the pre-market 5 on the NAS. Good job. Done for the day. If you took that went like a rocket today. Absolute rocket. There's your pre-market on the NAS. It's 2R, 3R really. That's aggressive, but hey, he who dares wins and all that. US 30, if resistance doesn't hold, what would the TP be? No idea. There is no TP. It's out the clouds, look. So where we are here now, we broke the high yesterday. We hit the high on Tuesday. We broke the high yesterday. Where we are now, you've got a couple of areas of resistance coming up, but that's the high. That's what they're aiming for. So there's a potential possibility you might find some orders there, but highly unlikely. I mean, they're very little insignificant, untested levels. So today, if you're at the highs, it will go until momentum fades. It will go until people stop buying it. Obviously, there's a lot of earnings out, so there is potential for a massive movement. But there's also the potential for that opening cash balance to have been today's stock purchases, and that's it. We're going to rotation and wait. It depends if there's enough volume, basically, on the stocks that they want to buy. So Tesla, obviously, it wasn't great, the earnings, but it wasn't bad. So, it's impossible to tell, which is, why you go with the momentum. You see what way the market wants to go. When you've got a lot of earnings coming out at once, which is what earnings fortnight or funny fortnight is all about, there is so much activity going on. They might be buying the crap out of Johnson & Johnson and selling the crap out of PMI, which cancels each other out. It's when you get them buying the crap out of that, buying the crap out of that, and buying the crap out of that, and they all sit in the Dow, that's when the Dow flies. No idea. You can't tell what everybody's positioning is in stocks. People might be thinking as well, we've had great earnings. That's fantastic. We've had 4 earnings quarters in a row, which have all been good. Brilliant. Now it's time for me to cash out. In which case you get good earnings and it sells like crazy. You can't tell what's going to happen because it's all to do with positioning. Same as with FX, same with everything. It's supply and demand. It's to do with positioning. If you've got loads and loads and loads of buys that have been going on for 3 quarters of the year, and all of a sudden everyone decides to get out because the earnings are great, it will come down, that stock price. Then it becomes cheap and you get a massive rally off the back of it. But that's what the market does. Pushes and profit takes, pushes and profit takes. Whether or not the news is good or bad, as we know from FX, we get good news and the market drops and everyone's like, why the hell did that happen? Because they've been buying the crap out of it, expecting the good news to come. So now they do the profit take and everyone goes short, puts their liquidity up there, and then they go, thank you very much. We're going to rally because it was good news. Why didn't you listen to us? What the market does, but you can't tell when it's going to happen because the banks time it, not you. So you can never tell which way anything's going to go. This is stuck at the moment, the Dow. It's all stuck. So it's a rally out the high and a pause. This is what we saw before, wasn't it? Yeah, if you look at the Dow from yesterday. Smells like yesterday, doesn't it? Boing, pause, crack. Flag break. We will see. Right, let's have a quick look at FX while we're waiting for this to decide what the hell it's doing, which it can't at the minute. 1,500 banked on the NAS and the Dow. Done. Good job, Mumo. Long the NASDAQ. Why is that not triggered? Going long the NAS, break of the high. Gonna have one go on that. I'm already long on it on this account, obviously, but I'm just going long on the futures market. Dow's pulling back. I say because that's $235 in drawdown now. Sorry, let's have a look at this. Right, sorry, carry on. Got too much going on. Did you decide to take a different ORB range today? Do you decide to take a different ORB range day to day? This version that you're looking at here is testing that theory, yes. Based on the size of the range and the distance of the closing candle from the high of the range. So the reason this one wasn't taken today on the Dow, yeah, is opening range breakout skip today, conditions not right for trading, basically. So what it does is it measures the opening range on the 5, the 10, and the 15. It has to be within certain restrictions that I've set to actually take a trade, basically. So, and also, if that candle close is too close to the high or the low of the range, it will skip the trade. Because when you get that, and this is on the 15-minute pre-market only, on the 5-minute opening range, it will get in whatever, assuming the range is not too big. But on the pre-market, because you get so much volume coming on that initial cash balance, that first ring of the bell, you get slipped massively. And slippage causes massive losses. Can do. You can ask for an order there. By the time your order gets executed, it's there. Your stop's there. Now you're losing a third more than you wanted to lose because of slippage. So I've decided to test how that affects the market. And that's why I'm doing live testing on this, to see what happens, basically. So this particular version doesn't take trades based on those criteria. But this is kind of what I would do, or do anyway. Look at this and go, well, that range is far too big. Just leave it for the day. It's too hard to get into it. And then look for price action afterwards. So I'm watching the Dow. The reason I've just gone long on the Dow is because I've seen them push out the highs and it's pulled back and it's going like that. I've seen the NASDAQ pull back, stop. We've got an inside bar, and now we're taking an inside bar break. So it looks like it wants to go long. So just when that opening range is done, if it's way too big or the pre-market's way too big, take a step back, see what happens next. We get a nice inside bar followed by another nice inside bar, a little bit like the S&P is doing, similar to that. It's long and it's pausing. It's a flag, isn't it? Take a break of that flag. Yeah. So you've just got to use your head, really. You know, the problem with an opening range this big, yeah, and the reason I'm doing this, I've been doing these calculations, is to get a 1.5 R now on this S&P off of that opening range. Yeah. So if we measure that opening range, and let's say we took that break, we used a stop down there, right? For me to make a profit, because of the size of that range, for putting my stop under there and getting in here, to make a profit on that trade, right? This thing's got to get to all the way to there to make me a 1.5R. That's a big move. That's more than it's done in the entire Globex session, which you would expect it to do in the open. But look what it takes to get a 2R. It's almost got to do its average daily range just to give me a measly 2R. 2R's not a lot, is it? Yeah. So if the range is smaller, i.e. if this range was only that big today, look what happens when I get to ADR. I'm making 6R. So the size of the range, because you're putting a stop the opposite side of the range, usually, or a little bit further away, has a massive impact on your potential earnings, because it's got to take a lot longer and move a lot stronger to give you a risk reward ratio that's actually worth bothering with. So if that range is too big, skip it. You have to do this manually with the opening range breakout EA. But that's what I'm kind of testing. And, you know, when I've done the back testing, it shows that taking a break that's too big. So it's the minimum range 0.8 ADR, maximum range 0.2 ADR. So if this is bigger than 20% of the normal range it does in a day, forget it, because it's already done 20% of its movement in 5 minutes. So you're relying on it having to do another 50% of its average daily move just to get paid. Well, it's about 40%, just to get paid a 2R. Yeah, 58% of the time, the market stays within its average daily range. So the probabilities of hitting it are lower, which is why it's filtering them out. But this is all like experimental at the minute. So DOW and the NAS both working. You're taking the Dow. S&P's just broken the highs. We are sitting up at the previous day's high right now, though. So this is super strong resistance. So we'll see if we get through that. NASDAQ's out the Globex high, so that's got half a chance of running, but we'll see. Right, leave that for a minute. So ADRs, lots of them. Eyeing up a pullback on the NAS. Yeah, wait for a pullback, I would. 5-minute pre-market been paying all week. Yeah, there's been a few whipsaws, but there's been a lot of profit as well. So way more profit than whipsaws. Afternoon, David. My Ninja Trader is showing a gap between 938 and 926 on the 5-minute NAS. I haven't got that. One NASDAQ. Adding to the NAS. Working out the highs. No, it's stalling. So I just need to watch this for a minute. There's not a lot of follow through. I just realized we're at the Dow. We're at the high of the yesterday's high on the Dow. Limit orders are triggering. Look. Same with the S&P and the NASDAQ. Struggling up here on these. So Just setting some orders to get out of these positions if it drops. If we break these highs now after getting, we're basically stuck at yesterday's high. Yeah. And we're struggling to make any progress on the NASDAQ. If we do break that, we're driving straight into yesterday's high on the NASDAQ. But if the S&P does go, the NASDAQ will go. I don't know, the Dow will go wherever it wants to today, but if it does break that high, it's going to pop and we're going to get a quick drive to the upside. So it's just what I'm worried about is we're hitting an iceberg order here, which was really a whiny jigsaw open, but I can't see it. And if we are not going to get through that level. We're just going to pop straight back down. So I've got short orders set there. Sorry, NASDAQ. I've got short orders set there. Trigger. Because if that does reject, everybody that's trying to long this is going to puke their orders and it's just going to go. Blah, blah, blah. But at the moment, it is holding up. Tough one, this. Big battle going on. Okay, out of one. Dow's going long still. Going short on the NASDAQ. Hopefully. And if that flips long now, I'm done. Nightmare. Difficult one today. Does look long. But I don't like this. I don't like this level. If it was pulling back like this and trying to go long at any other point on the S&P, I'd be fine. But this is a triple top on yesterday's high. Now this is struggling. I get the feeling this might roll over. We'll see. I've been looking at gold with the US 30. Does the opposite. Yeah, because it's the US dollar, isn't it? This does the opposite to the US dollar. So does gold. Doesn't really matter which you trade. If you try and look for confluences in things, you'll get tied up in knots, because what you'll find is something will go long, therefore you'll go short on that, and then you'll see that come down and you'll think, no, I should get out of that and go long, and then that will do that, and you'll go all like that. You're always going to be one step behind if you try and trade confluences. NASDAQ, what are you doing? There's a lot of fighting going on. Dow's S&P is looking like the bears are taking control. If that does happen, we should get the same run down on the NASDAQ. Dow's still going. Not getting far though, is it? Look at that massive. This is the trouble with these huge opening ranges. There's so much volume gone through this. It just, it struggles to get enough volume to actually get any more movement going. Dow's just popped. NASDAQ's trying to pop as well. S&P's going. What a confusion today, eh? these two just can't make their mind up what they want to do. Look at this. So this is now 25 minutes sideways on the S&P. Not got a clue, is it? Right, well, the Dow's gone anyway. So if you're long on the Dow, well done. I don't like this NASDAQ. I'm covering it. Bank the DAX already today. So this NAS looks like it wants to drop. What's everybody think? This is a real flip a coiner today, isn't it? We are totally stuck. It's this level on the S&P that is driving me mad. Actually, that's not yesterday's high, is it? Sorry. That was the previous day's high. Yeah, so that's previous day's high, which was support. Yeah, it's turned back to resistance. So if we're going to drive down, this is balance, price discovery, failure, balance. Price discovery potentially would be down to the downside next. Okay, another 5-minute candle done. Still within the range at the high. US home sales just come out. 4.16 negative US. Doesn't really make any difference, say that one. Okay, out the NASDAQ. I'm going to close that Dow as well. Right. Sorry, I've just got to concentrate on that. Just done 550 on that. Made 550, basically. It's too... you see how jittery this is? Yeah. These sorts of days, you get... we were talking this morning about discretionary trading and how when you've watched charts for such a long time, you get a feeling, and it's something that you'll hear a lot of traders talk about. Doesn't feel right, feels heavy, feels like it wants to go long. You just get a feeling, and when I see this like this, jittering up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down all the time, you just know that at any moment it's just going to go boom, 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 and it's just going to take off in one direction or the other. Because there's a massive amount of volume coming in here. And eventually that volume is going to peter out. Someone's going to dump an order and all of a sudden it's just going to go. So I hate trading these days. I hate it. It's horrible to trade because you can't actually tell from price action which way it's going to go because it's just going to go wherever the hell it wants to. So experience just says to me, stay out. If you've made money, don't push it because the chances are it's just going to kick you in the arse at some point because you get this rotation where it just suddenly goes boom and you're like, brilliant, we'll buy the lows and it'll pop out the lows and everyone flips short, and then it pops back up, and you end up in a rotation day with masses of volume, and no one can decide whether they want to buy or sell. So it just doesn't look right at the moment. So I'm out the Dow as well. I'm just flat. All banked, all profit today. Right. Let's carry on. I've gone long Dow and short NAS. That's probably the right thing to do, I suspect, today. Certainly short on the NAS at the moment is good. I shouldn't have got out of that NAS, but I had too much on it. I had 3 contracts short. That's too big on the NAS. Far too much. Yeah, that's going really well. Good job. Why does my NASDAQ chart look completely different? There we go. That was confusing the hell out of me. Did you see that? I was looking at the chart thinking, that doesn't look anything like the NASDAQ. It took ages to update. That looks like the NASDAQ. Yeah, so good shout. Short. Glad I'm out of that. I don't know necessarily that it's going to short, though. So just watch this level. Not sure it's necessarily going to have enough to drop out either, but we'll see. Right, ADRs. Let's look at the ADRs. Been long on the DAX for the last half an hour and still long on the Dow. Scared off by the NASDAQ. Been long on the DAX. Good one. Nice push on the DAX today. That's a beauty. So obviously I got out there and there. But that's the DAX has run off of the Dow. So the Dow and the DAX tend to do the same thing. And the NASDAQ and the S&P tend to do the same thing as well. ADR coming to focus for Dow. I don't know today. This is jittery mess. I'd just leave it. A short would have been the best thing to do today on this. And if I'd have held that short, I would be basically just going off and buying a car right now, because when that hits that low, I made $1,200 on that short. Somewhere from about there to about there. Yeah, imagine what that's worth. But when you're trading futures, it happens too bloody fast. And I was talking about this morning, I don't hold trades long. On futures, I get out as fast as I possibly can, because you can make your mortgage in about half an hour. There's been the DAX, that's one. ADR coming to focus, just closed short on the NAS. Good one, good spot, but it is breaking out the lows as well. So we are going short today. Watch out for yesterday's low to the downside. But it is rejecting right now. It's pulling back again. They're buying up the lows. This looks like a rotation day to me. A minute. So buy that, stop there, off up here, sell that, sell that. It doesn't feel right today. Right, ADRs, there's loads of them. So we looked at all of these this morning. Aussie dollar CAD came off the high this morning. We're still in it, or you're still in it if you're in it. This Australian dollar hasn't really got a rally today. So we've had the move. Let's just look at the 15-minute chart. So we've had the reversal alert off of ADR today, and it's coming down quite nicely when that updates. All these Aussies basically rallied, pulled back, rallied, and it's going now. But this is mainly because this Swiss franc is weak, which is why this is rallying. So these Aussies got a little bit stuck today, up at ADRs. So you can see most of them, we've got the ADR reversal, and then obviously we've just got stuck. We've paused up at the highs. So they're tricky today. There's your reversal there. We're still in it. So we're just sitting around on all of them. It's been positive Australian dollar news. We've had positive New Zealand dollar news. These should all be bullish, these Aussies and New Zealands today, but it's not getting there. So you've got to ask the question, are we going to continue with a rally on this thing? Aussie New Zealand obviously has had the biggest move today because it's the Australia's news. They tend to go together, but whenever they do get news and move together, the Aussie always wins. It's the bigger economy, so that always pushes further than the New Zealand dollar. Itchy fingers watching this Dow. I've got perfect exit on the Dow. Got out there. I'm just watching for an accumulation up here. Take a short. This NASDAQ is still rallying up for the lows. Very tricky today. This is why you should, whenever you stop trading, you should shut your charts and walk away. Because the temptation is always there. This looks like a beautiful long on the NASDAQ, and it looks like a lovely opportunity short on the Dow. I've banked it, so I'm not going to touch it. Aussie New Zealand, 175 ADR. So this is coming up to potentially a high. Sorry, it's been all over the mic. From 3 weeks ago. This is the 3-week high. So there's a potential opportunity for a short from that. We're 175 ADR. If this is going to continue to rally the Aussie, then obviously that's where I'd be looking for short opportunities. The last short was in there. It's not extended on the RSI, so it's not something I'm getting involved in until we get a reversal alert. And obviously we got some distance between the trades, so that's my first one off the RSI. So sorry, I called the wrong day there, didn't I? It wasn't that day, it was that day. So next reversal alert, if you're already in it, will be a short, but that would be the best spot to take it. So if we can get a 225 ADR on that today, that would be a lovely extension. So we've had one pullback on it. We're looking for a pullback there. NASDAQ's out the lows. Dow's rolling over. ADR Euro Swiss just hit as well. So that's Aussie New Zealand, 175 ADR. We'll be taking a second entry on that when we get a reversal alert, M5, which is going to be there. So that'll be the second entry for me on that one, which is 55 pips from the initial entry, over 3/4 of an ADR. Aussie dollar, US dollar. That's already come off of ADR this morning. So that was your reversal alert there. You did have a reversal alert there this morning off of ADR, and it's pushed up further and giving you a second entry there. So that's going nicely short at the moment, but that's on the US dollar strength rather than the Australian dollar weakness. CAD Swiss, we looked at this one. So I've exited my CAD Swiss at ADR. I think there's every chance this is going to go up there. That's where the TPs were. Yeah, but I have got too much Swiss franc on this account. So I'm trading the account as if it's exposed normally, and there's too much exposure on the Swiss franc. So I'm out of this one. I'm going to hold the US dollar Swiss long. It's NASDAQ, look, just if anybody wants to take it out of this propulsion gap. We're going to rotate. That is your entry, but watch for sellers in here. Scalp. Sorry, I'm just watching this for shorts. So that is still pushing today, CAD Swiss. We've been waiting for Canadian dollar and US dollar strength. It's coming through. We've been waiting for Swiss franc weakness. It's happening. So it's all unfolding nicely. But obviously, if you've got too much exposure on, obviously, just make sure you get out some of it. Aussie dollar Swiss 150 ADR, still pushing. Euro odd extended to the upside. To the downside. That came off of 125 ADR. It initially came off of 100 ADR this morning as well. So you had a reversal alert in there. We looked at this one, so that was there. That one stopped out, or you're in it and you're waiting for another entry, but that'll be further down. So if you've taken that one, that's potentially where we're going to bounce from, 125. That's Euro odd. Euro Swiss. Oops. So this one obviously is now back into profit for me. Yeah, ADR, but we've been waiting for the Swiss franc to weaken for like what seems like weeks, and it is. So not sure really want to get in short on it just yet. Looking for it to come up and fill propulsion first. We've got Euro news coming next week. We've got the Euro rate announcement on Thursday, sorry. We should be getting a 4.25 to a 4.5. So should be getting bullish movement on the euro. So I would be careful about taking shorts on the euros at the minute. Pound odd drops to the downside. First order on that one, long. That's just come off of 150 ADR. So this is an H1 RSI extension, M5 entry. Yeah, so this is a perfect example of the H1 M5 mean reversion strategy, which is my bread and butter. Hourly RSI extension on that chart there. Drop down, M5, reversal alert, market structure shift, entry. So holding that. TP. What is it? Tricky TP this. So this is the break that got retested, which they added to. All the way down, they've just been adding. Got to ask, are they going to continue to add? Because the pound is a sell, obviously. Aussie dollar's just had good news this morning. So for me, somewhere underneath that double bottom is the obvious take profit. But that is actually only about 3/4 of an ADR. Not a lot. Yeah, nothing particularly exciting there, I don't think. I would just take a quick scalp on that up into there. I'd be worried about holding this and trying to get a higher target on it because the pound's obviously had massive drops in the CPI. We've had Aussie dollar unemployment this morning positive. So the chances of this going up that way is less than it going down that way. So scalp. ADR, obviously, your 150 ADR reversal. So that's a typical scalp. Yeah. Third to half an ADR. That's 113. Half an ADR is 80. So that's a nice ADR scalp. Quick in, quick out. So I've just got a short on the Dow Jones. And it's very much looking like a little flag. So I'm just watching my entries there. I'm just waiting to see if we get a flush, in which case then I can concentrate. But I'm trying to do multiple things at once. So bear with me a sec. US dollar Swiss 125 ADR. Swiss franc still going nuts. That's pound odd. Pound US dollar, big extension to the downside. Again, pound is weak. I've got a long on this, unfortunately, from yesterday. This is an H1 M5 mean reversion entry. So that was the exit. Exited the shorts there. Flip long on the RSI extension, and we're coming down further. So we're coming back into here. Now, if you remember, this was my initial target for those shorts, and I got out early on the shorts. Got out here. That was my target. So looking for a bounce somewhere in here to get a second entry on to go long. But US dollar's powering up a little bit. Pound, obviously, we know is weakened. So it's not the best entry in the world, I don't think, this one. But I'm in it, so I'll wait. So that's a nice ADR reversal, M5. Reversal alert. You will have had one on... Oh, no, you haven't. You haven't had one on this yet. So it's just put an up candle in just before this one. So that is going to be the tight entry. That will be my second entry. 70 odd. It's going to be tight. I'm not sure I'm going to get that on. I'm just going to quickly put a manual on this. That 0.41. 6. What was that? I didn't see what I typed. 32. 42. Okay, just putting a buy stop manually. Just because this is too tight. I need about 77 pips. That is about 75. However, it's close enough. So I'm going to take a manual on it. If it pushes down and then accumulates down there, pushes down again, the reversal alert rectangle will drop. We'll get an alert down there. The EA will get me into that. So then I'll remove that one off. Let's go down. Let's go. That's dropping. Change charts. So NAS is at the lows. That didn't hold. Great little breakout entry on that. S&P is challenging the lows. Right, so the Dow, my target on Dow is 35,329, which is totally different in futures, but this is my target on the Dow. Yeah, just above that high inside this propulsion gap. So this is where obviously we had the pre-market movement. This is the 5-minute opening range. So this is where, if we are talking about the market going long today and the speculators were entering with this initial cash balance, if they want to drive the market long today, they will need to add to their orders to combat these bears which are entering the market. So they will need to add more positions in there. So if we're going to find buyers, they should be sitting in this area here. Will be pullback in market structure. So my target is there. I'm short from here, looking to get out here. And then obviously if the buyers go, fine. If it carries on going, fine. I don't care. That is $500, $600, so it doesn't really matter. Euro Swiss 125 ADR. US dollar Swiss. So still in this one. This is now at break even. ADR hit to the upside 125. So this is the same as the CAD Swiss. This is why I'm out of the CAD Swiss. Yeah, look at that, and then look at the US dollar Swiss. Yeah, it's the same thing. So I'm trading the same thing twice. So that's overexposure. So I'm getting out of this one basically. I took the aggressive drawdown control position off, as you saw earlier when we came on. I did drawdown control twice. So that brought my average down by 1/4 of an ADR, which means I can now shut this whole thing out, walk away and go, that's it, I'm done with it. But I'm going to hold this one for the TP. So that will be basically almost a 50% retracement on the leg. And then if it wants to do another leg, it can do. But it won't do it with me on board. Why did I just take one short? Just moving stop to break even on the Dow. Just covering it in case my entry's there. So I'm just covering it basically in case we get some crazy spike that does something silly, news event, whatever. No risk. Worst case scenario is a break even, pay for my fees. Best case scenario is $500. Right, so there's your ADRs. RSIs are a lot the same as ADRs today. Sorry, one sec. Oh, it's all go today, isn't it? Is that 0.2? So yeah, RSIs today. We got the CAD Swiss. Obviously, RSI now extension to the upside. So the reversal at CA, we're not quite above the 75 level yet, but if in the next hour this thing pushes up to 150, 175 ADR, we're going to be extended up there. So I will be flipping short. Then obviously, if it pushes, which I expect it probably will, I will scale into a short on the other way down. Euro CAD is extended to the upside, to the downside. I've got shorts on this already, so the H1 RSI extension was there. Initial entry was back on that initial one. You can't see it just by my head. The RSI got extended there as well. So that was the initial entry. Scale in like that, and then we're pulling back. So this is coming down on the Canadian dollar strength, looking for a tap back into that resistance. And basically this whole propulsion area here, I would expect to find buyers. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to TP to the top propulsion gap, which is just beyond ADR today. Just got a lot of euro on as well. That's enough, basically, just in case, obviously, we get a bounce off of these lows. So we rejected that 3 times that level. Euro US dollar ADR. Jesus. Big day today. Everything's going on. Euro US dollar coming down hard. ADR hit. Short on that one. Pound odd. We've looked at that one. So that's the H1M5 mean reversion entry. Pound CAD. So second entry on that one already, which was today. Just gone in. That was the manual I just placed, wasn't it? Or was that on a different pair? Different pair, wasn't it? Sorry, my head's not with it at the moment. Pound Swiss. So that's Pound Swiss was the manual. No, it wasn't. Not a very good advert for an organized trader today, am I? Pound US dollar was the manual. Right. So yeah, pound odd. Nice extension to the downside. H1. Yeah, drop down 5-minute reversal alert. Initial entry taken. That was the scalp play, wasn't it? The ADR one we looked at. Pound CAD. Big extension to the downside. Yeah, coming down to a nice area of support as well. So we got this kind of accumulation area balance here. Yeah. So looking for that basically. Potentially, if this initial entry from yesterday and here doesn't go, we'll look for another bounce down there. Obviously, then profit take on that. But all these pound longs are not sure about them. And pound US dollar coming down. So that's the one I got the buy stop on. So that's still coming down because the US dollar is still rallying hard. 4-hour RSI extensions on euro pound. Yeah, so this one we looked at again this morning. Yeah, already got one short on it from yesterday from that massive propulsion move. So looking for a profit take move on that if they're going to rally it higher, which they may well and probably will do. This euro pounds, we've pushed up into this. We looked at this again this morning. This accumulation, this balance. So price moves from balance, price discovery, balance, price discovery, balance. It moves around, pushing and then pausing and then pushing and then pausing. So we are back in here. So we quite often get a rejection out of there to see if we definitely don't want to trade down there and then back up. So that's the sort of move that I'll be looking for to come back down into there. But I think long-term euro probably beating the pound now, but this is all going to be dependent on what they do with their interest rates and what happens with inflation with the euro. If the euro inflation is also going to come down, this could well come down as well as the pound pulls back, but we'll see. But yeah, nice opportunity for a short there on the 4 hour. Dow's pausing at the minute. NASDAQ's just completely collapsed. Break short. Didn't hold. Looked like it was going to hold. Failed. And unfortunately, my short is actually looking like it wants to get bought out of this this level. So basically that's where we closed out. We tried to push back down. Buyers bought it back up. We tried to push back down. Buyers have bought it back up. So this is where the buyers are now entering the market. So we really need a lot of sellers to step on board this right now to break down into this area. And then obviously we'll see how much buying power is sitting down there. Right, euro pound, 4 hour, pound odd. So it's all the same stuff. The pound odd and the pound CAD extended on the hour, extended on the 4 hour. Yeah, so big extension to the downside. These we're only down below the 30s, so it's not massive. I'd much rather be down here for longs, but this is an opportunity to get in long as well if you wanted it. Just be careful with all these pounds, pound odd, pound CAD. They are lovely extensions. You will be looking for some kind of pullback into that. Yeah, there'll be a profit take move on all these shorts. But this is a potential profit take move on the longs for a new leg up. But now we've had that news on the pound that the CPI has come down. Yeah, it's more likely that we're going to see that sort of price action. So don't get greedy on the pounds. Just get in and get out when you get an opportunity to. Pound Swiss, massive extension on the 4 hour. Lovely area entry there. That was an entry on the hourly and the 4 hourly. My first one, drawdown control done. Second entry was there. Third entry, sorry, there. Fourth entry down there. So still extended. Just waiting for that profit take move. And again, not really interested in getting greedy on these. Just wait and see what happens, what you can get out of it. It's one of those you got to kind of watch, because this pound, if it is going to continue to drop, yeah, obviously you've got a lovely, obvious support level there. You've got this big propulsion, which wasn't really out of an accumulation. This candle here, though, was the break of the accumulation. That is the area I would expect to be the take profit. That was my initial take profit, that accumulation break. Yeah, but that's far too far away now. So target needs to be moved down. Do it with all of them. So that will be my new target now, which is 200 ADR from where we are right now. Okay, so if we can get back up to there, I think that's probably enough. That's a 50% retracement. 38 retracement on the bigger move. Yeah, so I think that's probably where we'll find a bit more sell opportunities. But yeah, the pound is really weak. Look how weak the Swiss is. If the pound is weak and it's beating the Swiss franc, that just shows you how much weakness the Swiss franc is having today. That's why that CAD Swiss is moving, that US Swiss is moving, and that Euro Swiss is moving. It's not those currencies, it's the Swiss franc. They're pulling all the money out of the Swiss franc. Why? Because they piled all the money into the Swiss franc out of the US dollar drop. So they're just reversing that position, taking profit, selling that currency that they bought at one level, selling at the other. It's how they make money. There we go. So there's all your RSIs and ADRs done. Doesn't look like I'm going to get any profit out of this Dow. I might just got $100 on it. I might just shut it. Right, let me catch up on the chat. Where did I get to? What set file are you running on your high risk ORB account? Would like to try something similar. Same as the normal, basically. It's just the normal set files. The one that's running on here, you haven't got. This is a different version of the ORB. It's not even the ORB. It shouldn't even be called the ORB. The ORB is part of this strategy. But it's the 5, 10, 15 minute pre-market and the 5 minute opening range. But normal set file is just the 15 minute pre and the 5 minute post. That's what I use my everyday. Yeah, it's just the 15 minute pre-market, which today was that, which was ridiculous. It worked absolutely fine. And the 5 minute. So it's a case of take that, see what it's done, then close it out if you like what you've got. Or take that and add. Test yourself which you want to use. They're all the same. They all work. Some days are better than others with different strategies. That's all. Missy trade with futures. Yep. God, wish I hadn't have shut that DAX, that NASDAQ. I'm getting it all wrong today. It's lovely. Getting it all wrong, and I'm sitting on $650 of profit at the minute. Getting it wrong. But that NASDAQ trade was terrible. Absolutely terrible. I got out way too soon. If I'd have held it, I would be basically buying a new car. If I'd have known that, I wouldn't have shut it. Aussie dollar Swiss. Aussie Swiss. Yeah. Pumping to the upside. So again, got out of that one too soon today. Got out there. Just coming back, 150 ADR has been rejected. Look, so just about to get a reversal out on that 150 rejection. Anybody short Dell right now? I am, marginally. Gordy waiting for a long on the Dow. That's good. You keep long in it. I'll keep shorting it. One of us is going to make money. Don't guarantee it's going to be me. Gold, Hennas. Right. Don't know, gold. It'll come down today because US dollars pushed. So as I said this morning, if you were in here this morning, this is just a US dollar cross. As I say every day, this is a US dollar cross. The US dollar is rallying, therefore gold is dropping. Watch this level, 125 ADR for a potential bounce. But it's moving in stages. Don't know, gold. I really don't know. It's all going to depend on what the US dollar does. At the moment, we're rejecting those highs, which would end, you would anticipate it drops from there. So I'll be looking much more for shorts than longs. Out the Dow. Break even, basically. I am closing my platform. I'm done on futures today. Did a review of the EU ORB strategy for this month. Found if I didn't intervene, would be sitting at -2R. But that's what the back testing has shown, isn't it? It doesn't work long term. So without intervention. But, you know, this is the thing, I keep saying it over and over again. Use the EA to get you into trades so that you don't miss the entries. But when you're in, manage it yourself. Yeah. I got out there. I should have let it run. I got out there. I was spot on. Yeah. If this had gone like that today, I'd be cross and the EA would have made a lot more money. It didn't. I was right to exit there. Yeah. I was right to exit there. I was wrong not to take the short. Yeah. But the EA will take everything for you. You just got to watch it, which is what you're doing, Brian, which is exactly what you should be doing. Eyeball it. Should have held that short on the NAS. Yeah, God, should I have? Twice that week, twice this week I've done it. I missed this. I closed this out. I took this on the futures account as well, and I closed it out here. But, you know, we can't tell these things are going to happen, can we? This is the whole point of trading. You take money out of the market and be happy with it. If you look at every trade and go, oh my God, I'm crap because it went that way up. Think about what you've just done. Made money. That's your job. Making a big amount of money is lovely, but you will get them some days. You'll get them. They won't give you an opportunity. Yeah. Look at the Dow trade that I had here. Yeah. That was the ORB on Wednesday. Yeah. It didn't give me a chance to get out. It literally just went, I'm long, I'm long, I'm long, I'm long. I'm going to flag for a little bit. I'm long, I'm long, I'm long. And that point there, I intervened at that point and said, didn't I, in the live room, I was like, this has just gone green, 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 green. And I was like, Jesus, I'm going to get out. That was my TP2. That was TP1. TP1 got hit in 10 minutes. 2R. 5R got hit there. And I said there, didn't I? I said, we've got a down candle. I put a trading stop on it. It went, yeah, whatever. Yeah, you're going to get those days. It's a 7.5K day. But also you're going to get days where you get out here and you get out here and you go, oh, I just made 2.5 grand. And then it goes to 17 grand. Nothing you can do. You've made money. You just got to accept it. And that's the problem I think people struggle with. They try and find a system or strategy that makes them money and they try and improve on it. It's making you money. It's making you money. It's doing its job. Stop trying to make yourself the best trader in the world with the best exits in the world. Get the best. One of my mentors who told me or introduced me to the shadow, New Zealand dollar, US dollar ADR, this indicator. He said, do not try and get in here and get out here. Yeah. Be content with that. That makes you money. That is for glory. Yeah. The glory hunters never make money. The people that can identify something is likely to happen are the ones that are successful. Yeah. Look at my trade on the CAD Swiss. I've got every confidence in this thing pushing much further than this, but I want to make money. I want a piece of the move. If I get that bit of the move, I'm a winner. If I get that bit of the move, I'm a bigger winner. If I try and wait for that, I'm going to get stuffed because it's not going to happen very often. And I'm just going to get taken out at break even or in a loss or just massive drawdown. Take the bit, take some money, pay yourself. That's your job. Look at this today. Got out there with 0.8% profit. That's probably 1.2 now, 1.3. If it's going to get to where I thought it was going to get, that'd be sitting at something like 3 or 4%. But if this now turns tail and does that and collapses out the lows, I'll be sitting there going, see, I made money. That's all I want to do, make money. I don't want to get this much out of it. I want to get a living out of it. That's it. Some cash. US dollar Swiss is in profit. I'm in danger of everything going into profit. Fever of trading, Lee. Yes. Gold is messy. Can you share your settings for the EA? Which EA? And I'm trying to DOW short, Martin. That may or may not have worked. I think is trading with market to get free money. You're not making any sense. During the Asian session last night, I was in longs on gold, took 2.5%, and it shot up another 5x. This morning on gold, I caught another 5%, and it's still going. Up 15% on a live My Forex Funds account. Absolutely. What it's all about, making money. Stop now. Stop. Wait for payday. Pay yourself. Yeah. Pay yourself. That's the thing that people forget to do. They go, I'm up 15%. I'm amazing. I'm going to make loads and loads of more trades. And they all go wrong. And all of a sudden, then you're up 3%. You've drawn down on your account, or you've blown it on the daily drawdown. Yeah. Now's the time to sit back and go, fantastic. Pay me. Got triggered DOW short. Don't know about this DOW. It's just not doing anything, is it? Tricky. Breakout EA. Yeah, it's there. All the set files for this EA are on the website. Opening range breakout EA. I'll send you a link. Set files and backtest results. There's the manual. There's a video explaining the strategy here. Just trade it. Yeah, don't get fixated on what works best, what doesn't work best. They all work, right? It's a breakout strategy. Breakout strategies work when the market does that. If the market does that, they don't work. There is no setting in the EA that makes that not painful. That will hurt. That will make you a fortune. Yeah. So whether you use the 5-minute opening range, the 15-minute opening range, or you use the 5-minute pre-market or the 15-minute pre-market, up to you. If it goes, it goes. If it doesn't, you don't make money. It's as simple as that. Whether you use a trading stop or not will impact your results. I find no trading stop is much better. Letting it break both sides, fine. Letting it hedge me, fine. I don't care. If basically we go into rotation in a session, I don't win. If we don't go into rotation in a session, which we do more than we don't, I do. That's the edge. The edge of the ORB EA and the ORB strategy is that you go with the market when the market goes. When the market doesn't go, tough. When it does go, brilliant. So the danger of the pre-market range break is you get a whipsaw at the open. Yeah. The advantage of the pre-market break is when the market opens, it goes pop, 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 and you make something like 6 to 10R in 15 minutes. Yeah. So there is an advantage and a disadvantage to every variation you can do on any breakout strategy, not this one specifically in this EA, but every breakout strategy has the same pitfalls and the same advantages. When you get a big day, you get a big payday. I've made 15 grand in 2 days. Day 4. Yeah, so that's 19 grand in 3 days. Why? Because the ORBs have been fantastic. The ORBs that go like that, yeah, I lose. But it's earnings fortnight. And if you want an EA that's going to make you money in earnings fortnight, that's it. Because this is what happens in earnings. So, there's no right or wrong. Very glad I got out a break even on that. We are going long. Very tricky this today. Very tricky. Well, I say it's tricky for me, but right. Indeed, Lee, you know the exact routine. I maybe use that in M15. you could do if you wanted to, M15 or M5. But if you're going to use it on M15, then you can't trade any 5-minute ranges. I would just stick to the 5-minute charts. So the standard settings for the ORB EA are all based on the 5-minute chart, and you set your ranges here that you want to trade. So if you want to trade, this is pre-market. This is the pre-market 15, which is 16.15 to 16.30. The 5-minute opening range break is 16.30 to 16.35. And then the 15-minute post-market is 16.30 to 16.45. Yeah. So that is your OR1 is that one, which is the 15-minute pre-market. OR2 is that one, which is the 5-minute opening range candle. And OR3 is that one, which is also there, which is the 15-minute opening range. All have advantages and disadvantages. None are right, none are wrong. They all work long term. Pick one, or all, or both, or whatever. You know, it's up to you. Just make sure if you're going to get into multiple range breaks, you reduce your risk. Don't get in. Oh, it's up to you. You can get in with 1% per entry. If you do, you're going to pass an evaluation literally within half an hour. Be that quick. But you can also get stopped out and blow the account within 15 minutes. If it gets whipsawed, goes both ways, triggers you on 3% long, 3% short, and they both fail on a whipsaw, that's a 6% loss. You've got 5% daily loss limit. Using M15 and H4, well, that's the position trading strategy. That's nothing to do with the opening range breakout. That's position trading. Different EA. Right, going to leave it there. US dollar Swiss is pulling back a little bit. Not going to take that off. Everything else is just running. I'm just going to let everything run at the minute. I've got a lot I can bank, though. This is the horrible thing. I got 1,200, 1,300, 1,800. 2.6, 3K. Got 3K I can bank there, 3%, which will push me up to a 4% drawdown. I'll have to think about that this afternoon. I might do some partial closes. It's got a lot of money on the table. I just don't want it to disappear. Thought feeder, Martin, what's your stop? Dow short at 35,230. I would imagine he's out. 35,230. That must be on the futures market. We haven't triggered that. Double top. Short. If you want it. 35,300. Stopped out, yeah. Well, it depends. My chart you are stopped out, but your chart you're probably not. Good in pairs and crazy in futures today. No. Good in Forex pairs. Good in futures. Could made $600 in futures today. Even in that nutty mess. I could have made $6,000 today, but I didn't. Probably if I was focusing, I probably would be. You're still in it, Martin, are you? Cool. This might, I was just going to say, this might double top. No. Off. There's no way of telling where this is going today. So somewhere up at ADR. If you get to 125 ADR, maybe take a fade. Too difficult. If you haven't made your money today, it's going to be tricky, I think, to try and get on board. Right, I'll leave it there today. Anything you need, let me know. I'll be in Telegram. Back tomorrow morning, 7:50 and 2:20 for the New York session. We'll obviously have a look at what's going on with the FX market. News-wise, tomorrow, we're flat news. We've got the yen CPI figures coming out. Sometimes we do get movement off of that, but most of the time we don't, because obviously what's going on with CPI has very little to do with any kind of attraction to the yen because the yen interest rates are 0.1 negative, and they have been for 6 years. So it doesn't really matter what happens with that. They don't change their interest rates. So that's why it's orange news. We don't tend to get a lot of movement. We will if they want to pump it, though, and it does come out positive. So you might find we get some yen movement tomorrow. So if you've got any yen pairs that are sitting in profit, have I really got no yen exposure at all? I thought I was in New Zealand dollar yen. Oh, I'm out. Okay, yeah, I'm out. I'm flat on the yen. But if you've got any yen exposure that is sitting in profit, just be aware you got news tomorrow. So it might kick off tomorrow morning, overnight. Pound retail sales tomorrow before Frankfurt open. So we'll have a look at that. We may well get some movement off of that. If that comes out as negative, I'm not really happy about any of these longs on the pound as it is. If that comes out as negative, it's not going to be good. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that tomorrow. It's very hit and miss. We've got CAD retail as well. So there's just no news tomorrow. It's all mediocre. So we'll see if we get any movement tomorrow. But a lot of everything that we've been waiting for, we've been setting ourselves into positions for, is all playing out now. So it's just a case of just grabbing it when it gets green and popping it over there. See what happens tomorrow. Closing EU trade 7R. Good job, Brian. Very good. Keep it going. Right, I'll be back tomorrow. Have a good day. Anything you need, let me know in Telegram. Otherwise, I'll see you guys then.